This morning when I woke up, I learned that Notre Dame was on fire. I couldn't believe it, so I went to check my favorite source of information, Zhihu, the equivalent to Quora in China, and as soon as I opened the app, I saw tens of thousands of people commenting, subscribed to this topic, and it was #1 trending on the internet. Actually, not just on Zhihu and also on other websites. People were commenting, sharing, and talking about the incidents of the burn of Notre Dame. But to my surprise, that was more shocking than the fact Notre Dame was on fire, because, shit happens, it can happen, is that some people, were cheering for it. I mean, okay, not cheering. They were content about it. I didn't quite understand, because what the hell? I mean, Notre Dame was a great cultural heritage of all mankind, and it's being burned down, it's being damaged, and for whatever reason that you shouldn't be happy about it, or why? So I wanted to understand them, and I did some research, and I just read through all different comments and trying to organize. I want to see how people react to such a cultural incident. I'm saying this is a cultural incident, not any other kind of incidents, because it's a cultural site. It's not political. I want to understand how people approach culture and arts. I will just share with you what people say on the Chinese internet and how people think. Perhaps together we can analyze and find out why they feel it this way. I will just rank it from sad to happy. The most emotional, sad group of people are gamers, because they used to play Assassin's Creed, where they could jump off from the roof of Notre Dame and see Paris almost if they were there, and they felt like they were very involved in the development of Notre Dame and the city and the revolution and everything. And in many ways, Ubisoft, I don't know how to call this name properly, but this company made Assassin's Creed like a piece of art, not really just any game. I think it was very beautiful. I didn't play it myself, but I saw my friends play, and I was very touched by the visuals. It was such a realistic, beautiful visuals that is way beyond just a game. And also people who played Civilization 5. I used to play Civilization 2, I'm a big fan, so you could play France and win the world by its culture, and you could build Notre Dame as a landmark, and it's a very lovely game. So those people were more emotional. And then to the more rational side or neutral side, for example, an architect in New Zealand said, why don't we apply, perhaps even develop a new kind of intumescent coat? That is a fireproof coat of paint that you paint over wood structures to protect it from burning, and it's like an airbag for the car, but a paint for the wood. And that is very practical advice. I think that's very, very helpful. It's more than welcome. And many people have such good insights, perhaps could collaborate and make another round of research and development for the new future reparation of Notre Dame, not to make the same mistakes again. And then there are people more like, don't worry, we have preserved it. Dr. Andres Talon in 2015 has scanned it inside out and have it all done digitally, so we have it always a copy backed up in the hands of this associate professor of art. Don't worry. And also people say we will all die, buildings fall, stones fall, each individual, you and me, will also die. So if you want to go to a place, go now. Perhaps tomorrow this place will not be there. Perhaps tomorrow you will not be there. So live every day like your last and follow your heart, which I totally agree. And then there are other people saying that don't be so emotional, it's fixable, it's not that bad. So let's just wipe dry our tears and get our hands dirty to work. It's easier said than done, but it's also a valid point. But then it goes to more, let's say, the group of people who were almost happy about it. And they were saying that in 1900, that is 1900, the Eight-Nation Alliance, for you, if you don't know, just to go to search what happened in China during that time, they had burnt down the equivalent of Notre Dame in China, that is the Summer Palace. And it was a great cultural heritage as well, with beautiful architecture, with arts and stuff. And it was burnt down to the ground with almost nothing left, just a few pillars today as a park. And it was mainly French and British army who did that. Those people were saying that, guess what? You are punished by the fate, by the karma. Things happened for a reason, and that was the reason that you burned down our summer palace, and guess what? You can't keep yours. I can't agree with this logic, because if you have to wait for the karma to do your justice, you can wait 100 years. If you think it was not just, go to the international court, do something. Make association, make a movement, preserve your summer palace, rebuild your summer palace, or perhaps make sure that the French citizens and taxpayers pay for this project of reparation. If you are happy with it, do something. Not just sitting at home when something happens, you say, I said it will happen. It's not a fulfilling life, just waiting around for things to happen for you. And things happened for one reason or another, you just say, guess what? It was for me. Their logic, in a way, is not logic, it's emotion. And I think many emotions had not been answered and had not been met. For example, also some people say, look at Brazil. Also a lot of arts and culture, greatest art and culture in Latin America was burned. In Brazil, not long ago, where were you, right? It didn't make the headline in China. It perhaps didn't. I don't have the impression that it did. Where were you? So that was like blaming others, saying that, I was active to promote the idea of rebuild such a thing, and you were not there, and guess what? I don't support you because you didn't support me. So again, a very childish and very narrow idea of what you think is priority that other people should. If not, they should go to hell. Again, what a logic. And there are other still reasonable among this unreasonable group of people that they were saying it is a decline of a great nation that is like a product life cycle, that countries go up, go down, and France peaked in the 1900s and took the resources of many others, and today they were not as prosperous as before, which, objectively speaking, because there are other great nations, like developing countries, are catching up. I'm not saying the name or names. And he was also saying that it was a weakness of the public administrators that they made the decision to repair Notre Dame, and guess what? They screwed it up. So they were the people to blame, and they were not good, the nation is not good, so that it's kaput business. Political science point of view, it's valid, but also if you are a political scientist, you will agree with me that one of the most important aspects of international relation and political science is the national sovereignty. National sovereignty is, mind your own business. So if you are not French, you're not a citizen, you're not a taxpayer in France, you basically have no say, and don't point fingers at other people's business. What lessons could we learn from these mistakes? And we also did a lot of things that was not proper. Things will have to improve. I still find it's a little more reasonable than the cheerful group, that I think it's mainly because their emotions of being invaded in not long ago, not long as the people who were born during the invasion are still alive. They are still breathing the same air, walking on the same land, and it's very soon, or too soon, to forget about the very recent contemporary history. If you want to look for justice, the best thing you could do is to make your Notre Dame greater than their Notre Dame, and instead of cheering for the burning down of theirs, because the fact of beating your opponent is to be better yourself, not to wish them fail the game. So that was what I saw today. I'm still mentalizing on different reactions and why they do it this way, and how today Chinese people approach or perceive European culture. That's a very interesting subject. And I'm going to visit art institution / gallery from England, and I'll see what will happen. See you.